This is peak Overwatch.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, what you've all been waiting for.
And now it's go time.
Here we go.
Bloody hands, my eyes wide, I got one chance. No sleep till I'm enhanced. Fight hard to keep my stance. Knuckle up, time to buckle up. I got one shot and I won't stop. One goal for the joyride. I'm a champion. Move aside.
Oh, okay. Are you kidding me?
Taking over the game.
What am I watching? They might just be doing it.
He's a god. He's a god.
Yeah.
Oh!
Full force, I'm unleashed, so don't speak. Grandmaster, don't sleep. Victory, it tastes so sweet. Knuckle up, time to buckle up. I got one shot and I won't stop. One goal for the joyride. I'm a champion. Move aside. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Overwatch League. I am Doa, with me is ZP, and it's time again for Doa and ZP, some late night Overwatch. We got some great matches tonight, 3 of them in fact. You and I are doing the first 2. It's going to be a good night of games, isn't it?
It definitely is. I mean, not only are we looking forward to some great Overwatch, where great, by the way, has many definitions. Don't judge and just think, it's top team versus top team. There's a lot of ways to enjoy greatness. And, you know, number 2 is that we're working with the virtual set a little bit more. I'm looking at you. I mean, I'm looking at a light, but I'm imagining you're there. And it's
I'm
great.
totally not looking at my crested gecko over there in the cage, who's very confused because it's usually dark this time of day, but I've got the lights on. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, it's going to be a great night of matches. Of course, we got the LA Valiant taking on the Guangzhou Charge. Both teams looking for their first win in the season. And ZP, interesting factoid with this matchup is we haven't seen these two teams play each other since Stage 3, Week 2 of the 2019 season. It's been a long time since they match up. It's been crazy. But before we dive into that, don't forget to go and do your Overwatch League pick'ems. You got a chance to win $500. A great May statue. It's sculpted beautifully. It's painted beautifully. It's kind of heavy, so you know it's not going to fall over if there's like an earthquake or maybe a tornado on your side of the world. It'll probably just be right there on the shelf after the tornado goes by. It's that sturdy. I can't guarantee that officially, but, you know, just my personal opinion on it. But it's a good thing to do. People should do their pick'ems. How are you doing in your pick'ems, ZP?
You know, overall in the pickups, doing well in the NA side, the side that we're not actively casting quite as much this year. And then to the APAC side, I'm just getting destroyed in night after night. And it's funny here because all of you that are watching will tell you to do your pick'ems. And because you're watching APAC, that means you can watch your chances of winning the statue just evaporate as you've picked the wrong teams night after night. But you know why they're picking the wrong teams, Doa? It's because APAC's really competitive and hard to predict right now, which also makes it really fun to watch.
I mean, it is. Like, look at Philadelphia Fusion, 4-0 in the standings right now. They're a lock for the tournament a little bit later, or at least for the knockout matches anyway. Nobody expected them to do as well just because of, like, some players having visa issues and all that. Hunters are usually erratic and kind of crazy, but they seem to have kind of coalesced a bit more than usual. But then you've got those that fight going on for the 3rd and 4th spots into the knockout matches later this weekend. Seoul, Shanghai, New York, all with chances. I suppose there's like weird scenarios where maybe one of our O2 teams getting it in there, some math way that I haven't figured out yet, but it's going to be an interesting set of games. And like you said, the APAC region has been nothing aside from unexpected. It's been fun. And, you know, I'm kind of hyped about this first match today, which I know sounds a little bit strange because these are two teams at the bottom of the barrel. It's kind of the battle at the bottom of the barrel. But you know, there's some talent on these teams. Let's take a look at the Valiant roster here. And you and I were talking about this when we were doing some VOD review this week, ZP, that Valiant does seem to have a little bit of skill there with Crystal doing okay. Shochang, I think, has really impressed both of us on the Zarya. Molanran, probably the third one that's kind of got some sparks of brilliance in amongst the kind of mediocre, lackluster results they've had so far.
Yeah, I mean, Molanran is a really interesting one to look at because if you put Molanran on the Tracer, things are really good for the Valiant. Things seem to flow really well. You put Molanran on most of the other heroes in Molanran's pool, and suddenly, not so good. It's pretty rough. But Shochang is really the one player for the Valiant that I feel like, no matter what the situation, has consistently performed. But if there's a weak spot to the Valiant right now, Doa, it's just the fact that they don't always play together as a team. It's more of the individual show at times. So I do wonder if they're going to be able to time that up as the season goes on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the major question. And honestly, it's a little bit of the question with our other team as well, the Guangzhou Charge. They have a lot of the same questions about their roster too, because on paper, you look at the Guangzhou Charge, and there's a lot of great names here, right? Choi Wan was great in the Tracer the other day, even though he did get figured out by Seoul later. Eileen's had some strong performances in the league so far, but it's players like Kariv that I look at this guy and I'm like, he's been one of my favorite flex supports to watch for like basically the entire existence that Overwatch has been around, and they just haven't been able to take that and put it together for a working team. You know, honestly, interesting little fact as well is that the last time these two teams met, Kariv ended up being the MVP of the match, but he was the MVP for the Valiant at the time.
Oh man, Kariv has been around it, but that is an interesting factoid going back where it's like, okay, yeah, Kariv is toward the Overwatch League, and yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more to the overall point, right, is that the Charge on paper is a team that does have a lot of good players, but again, it's putting it together as a team and looking good. And, you know, another player we haven't talked as much about that, you know, maybe the metas this year haven't been quite as conducive to things he was historically good at is Krong, right? Where, you know, Krong, an amazing tank player, especially last year, very standout for the Charge, but, you know, again, off to a little bit of a shaky start, but now we're in a situation where both of these teams have had some more real game time. They've had more time to sort of gel together, and, you know, I am curious to see what we see here tonight.
Yeah, me too. But here we go, ZP into Ilios, our first map of the day. It's going to be our control map, of course. And this is going to be kind of a chance for the players to kind of play how they seem to want to play right now. And that this is the map type for hero plays. This is the map for skirmishing and things like that. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be wacky. It's going to be messy. But I've been looking forward to this one.
Yeah, same. And right now, I think the thing I really want to see most is the Tracer battle, right? Like, yeah. I think going into this, a lot of people would expect a Tracer battle between Chosewan and Milanran. Now,
how about
will we see that here in this? No, we might not. But, you know, you never trust teams until the spawn doors open. I got that reinforced today when doing a little bit collegiate, going, that's right. Teams like to troll, but we'll see if the Doomfist comes out. It's very possible.
I mean, I really wonder what Guangzhou is going to have today, because Chosewan's Tracer was figured out so hard by Seoul. Like, Prophet just had his number, the back line just knew where he was at all times. He's going to start out with the Tracer again. It has been his strongest hero, but I feel like we're going to need to see a little bit of adaptation in terms of how he's approaching things, because he kind of had a blueprint written for his Tracer play from the Seoul side the other day.
Yeah, he definitely did. But, you know, for Choi on the chart side here, there's a lot of room to work with. I don't think he's going to have to worry about getting checked as much. So long as he can get on Crystal, it's going to be pretty good. But for both teams right now starting to gauge, and as I said, Cho Chang takes down Chosewan, who tried to get to the back. And with that early pickoff, well, Crystal's picked 5-on-5. Any team's game, but Cho Chang again showing up, Doa.
Dude, Cho Chang has been so good on this Zarya. He's been so aggressive. He's so accurate as well. Milanran picks up a kill on Eileen, his Echo counterpart, and it looks like it's going to be a point take early on for the Valiant. And, you know, this is kind of the start people were expecting. A lot of people kind of saying Valiant has the edge in this one. I know you picked them. I picked them. Avril said he picked them for his pick'ems. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and this is one place where it's going, what do you mean? We didn't pick them. We got left out of the story. It's like, well, if you did, well, you're probably right. Who knows? My pickup's an 8-pack of Incurs. Don't take my word for anything. But between both teams right now, yeah, Valiant's still in front control here, Doa, and you know, it's up to the Charge to do something to change the tempo. Because if you're the Valiant, you're happy with where things are. You're even happier with that as Milanran was able to take down both supports on the other side of the camera.
Yeah, I would love to see a replay of that, actually, because you just don't see Echoes flying in and just evaporating two supports with the E. Obviously, there's a little bit of damage to lead up to that, but any way you slice it, it's a really strong performance by Valiant right now. Crystal swaps over to the Tracer to get back to the point a little bit quicker, I guess. They were finding some successful dives on him, so it makes sense that you swap off the Ashe, but so far so good for Valiant. They just gotta keep holding on to it.
Well, this time the Charge find a much better opening, a quick strike, taking down 2. And Silver 3 is going, okay, maybe it's time to get out of here. This fight, long lost. Whoa. Silver 3.
Wait, what?
Probably the primal at this point in the fight.
Yeah.
Questionable. Very questionable.
Very questionable. Yeah, let me give you let me test your esports certification here, ZP. The question is, if 3 of your teammates go down, do you A, regroup and wait for the next push, or B, use your ultimate and immediately die?
You know what? I think you use your ultimate and immediately die. Does that certify me? Did I make it?
You are a certified LA Valiant player. There you go.
Oh boy. boy. Well, that's where we're at.
That might be too harsh, but either way, Silver 3 is going to definitely want that ultimate back, and that just gives the Charge a new avenue to turn this one around. Malonran saying nope, but looks like the rest of Charge saying yes.
Yeah, this has been pretty scrappy back and forth, but even still, it took a while for the Charge to get control after last team fight win. The Valiant still have plenty of time, arguably about 2 fights. Silver 3 moving in, doesn't want to stand too long with the Discord orb on him, but see Choi Siwon setting up, Pulse Bomb at the ready. Choi Siwon's going around the flank right now. I'm just curious who he's targeting, but while that's going on, we got Malonran over in the sky. Very spread out between both teams.
I mean, yeah, they're really looking for picks right now. Shocheng down. Okay, Eileen with a big pick to start things off well for the Charge. We'll see if they can keep it going. Eileen manages to copy the Winston. Doesn't quite build up the Primal Rage yet.
Well, the Charge are able to get a few early picks there. So again, the Valiant kind of find themselves in a spot where, do they reset? Do they stay in and look for some scrappy picks? Crystal was able to get one there, but Crystal just got beamed down by Eileen. So, you can sort of tell here even from the observers just darting around, right? The fights are taking place in multiple areas, and it's more skirmishes right now, Doa, than one full-on team fight.
I mean, and you go back to when Silver 3 used that Primal Rage, right? Where if they would have been able to go back, regroup, make more of an out-powered push to try to retake the point instead of kind of, again, like we talked about before the match, those hero plays might have worked out better.
Well, here we go. Final opportunity for the Valiant to turn it around. Malonran takes the battle in the skies. Crystal finds Bomb with the Mondu. Even though it's 4v4, the Valiant. A bit of momentum here. Krongbelt Bomb in over the top. Not going to get anything, and it's Crystal that's going wild on the ground right now. Tracer getting cloned of all heroes. Wow. Who said he couldn't play Tracer Hero playing Echo? He's on it. And the Valiant very close to looking this round. Gets the stick.
Dude.
Nice.
The stick with the Tracer gets another one at the end too, and apparently no hero limit is back on as far as the Valiant are concerned. They get to flip the point back just in the nick of time. The question is, could maybe Gion for the Charge get a good ultimate, create some space for the rest of the team to come in? They're going to have a tough time pushing into this, so Hybe's going to have his rally pretty soon. So if Valiant sets up properly, this point is theirs to lose.
So 99 to 99, what's going to be the mines coming out for the Charge early? You have the Echo Battle in the sky, and again, Malonran able to take it down. Good early fire, better focusing being towards the end. Easy 6-on-5 advantages. Crystal now, look at Crystal off on the other side, going on what was set up by the Echo. Fight not over yet, but still looking very good for the Valiant.
Yeah, both supports down for Charge right now, and it seems like it's a cleanup here. So what looked like a pretty sticky situation for Valiant here on round number 1 ends up being a round win anyway. It's kind of like what we predicted, ZP. We saw a lot of attempts to be heroes by some of the players on both sides. It was messy, went back and forth, but in the end, the Valiant do come out ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, the one player I'm going to give props to, because we did a lot of VOD review and go, oh, please, just keep it on Tracer no matter what, but Malonran looked really good on the Echo there relative to some of the other games we've seen so far in APAC for the Valiant, and it's sort of a sign, are the Valiant really starting to come together? They looked better there than they have before running that sort of composition.
Oh, it's interesting because it seemed like, for whatever reason, the Charge supports were a little bit more vulnerable in that last round than you would usually find them to be. Malonran got a couple kills. Crystal, of course, augmenting that as well. So we'll see if they can keep the momentum going. It's an early Widowmaker for the moment, maybe just taking a couple pot shots before swapping. We'll see how long Crystal decides to stay on it. We do have Somers on both sides, though. Looking for those attacks.
This is just straight up a bet on Crystal going, we think Crystal will be able to get a pick, but if Crystal doesn't find a pick or gets picked off by Eileen, that bet goes awry very, very quickly, and Eileen on the pursuit right now, and Crystal needs help, needs to get back and swap, and, okay, the trade.
I mean, he got him right before he got taken out, so the question is, do you stay on that? You're not really close to the ultimate or anything. Choi Siwon doing Tracer things as we'd expect him to do, and yeah, Crystal swaps over to the McCree. I think that's probably the wise decision. You tried to get your picks on the Widowmaker, it didn't work out. Go back, get that McCree, get the flashbang, get the crowd control to work a little bit more with your point defensive. You'll be able to set up with around the Reinhardt.
Well, the interesting thing, though, Charge playing both DPS to go for the Widow, the Valiant were actually able to get first control, so in a way, the Widow worked out well enough. Now Crystal's on the McCree, which I agree, I think is going to be more effective, and it does put the Charge in the position of having to come from behind again.
Yeah, I mean, Crystal was able to at least draw attention from both DPS players on the Charge side to, you know, help his team get the man advantage on the point at least. So they're going to be able to go in quite comfortably.
Now, between both teams right now, you have a little bit of a quicker EMP build coming out from the Charge, but, you know, neither Sombra setting a speed record here. This is skirmishing, but neither team really diving in. We haven't had elimination in quite a while here, though, as, you know, both teams almost respecting each other too much.
I know. I mean, I like it, though. I like that things aren't quite as messy as they were earlier. Crystal does manage to pop Krong out of the mech, and that's going to give a little bit of an edge to Cho Chang in the 1v1. He's going to go down D.Va against D.Va, but just go ahead and let the D.Va go, I suppose. Looks like Jian did pop his ultimate as they try to retake the point here. Silver 3 does manage to get the Fire Strike kill there. Ooh, but Charge do bring it back, CB.
Charge finally coming to life, but so much time has progressed here. They were in that long back and forth where no one was going down, and you know it did favor the Valiant, right? Because you take a look at the progress, it's 78% to 2, and the Valiant, they are stacked for the next fight. They're in a great position to rip map 1 away.
You know, I want to think that between rounds they said, all right, let's calm down a little bit. Let's be more methodical about how we decide to put our pushes together. They've swapped to a comp that kind of lends that in terms of sticking around the Reinhardt a little bit more. And we'll see how the set play works out for the 5 ultimates. There's the Deadeye.
Yep, Crystal opening up, looking for any skulls whatsoever. But while that's going on, 75% of the point to the Valiant. Eileen gonna move in, goes to the MP, but there's the beat from Hy-Vee. It's well timed, protects the Valiant. Silver 3 getting low, might be looking for the other showers. Meanwhile, bomb over the top, but Cho Chang's bomb that hits, takes down Krong. All ults on the table for the Charge, but still might not be enough. The EMP comes in. Is there gonna be any more fall through? Silver 3 under pressure, 275 HP. Crystal out of the fight. But the Valiant, they retook control during all that, Doa.
Yeah, they did. And I credit to Molanran, too, for waiting to use his EMP to see the stick until Kariv's Transcendence was done. Just deciding to go ahead and be more patient with that. Ended up not mattering. Kariv got 2 kills before he got taken out. The rest of Charge able to flip the point back again. But 96%, that's not too bad. You've still got a couple fights if you are the Valiant where you can take this back and possibly get the 2-0 here on Ilios.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best fight for the Valiant, but the fact that they got control in the middle of the fight before it was over means that they do get those extra fights. You know, it's a bit of a misplay by the Charge to even let it flip, and it very well could come back to bite them.
Certainly could, and you know, now it's really on Charge again and on Jian to get a pretty good ball ultimate. I feel like we didn't see the greatest one on Well. See what he can find here. He knows where they're setting up. That's a pretty good one. Raining it down on the Reinhardt. Silver 3 in a lot of trouble here, taking a lot of damage. He almost certainly is going to go down. What? He's still alive? Okay, there we go. I was going to say, that's amazing. Nice stick.
It took a while. Yeah, that's Chosen One. Not only getting the tank damages, but rotates up, lands the pulse bomb. And now, I mean, that fight took so long, Doa, that there's not a whole lot of time for Valiant to come back in. I think someone should be able to touch, but this is going to be messy, and they're rolling right into the EMP.
Yeah, 95%, 96. Like you said, Eileen ready to go with that Sombra EMP. They got to touch. Molanran gets there. Oh, wait, what?
Is he going to get free?
No.
Someone else got to
get back. They got to get back. Okay.
All right.
They got kills here. All right. So we're going to go to round 3, I think.
Yeah.
I think that was
a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah.
But
yeah. That was
don't let the Sombra capture free.
No, let's try to avoid that. But in the end, there's a team kill. There's a round secured in Charge. Make it a 3-round Ilios. But hey, you know, credit for Molanran. I've really been impressed by him so far in these rounds in terms of making plays, in terms of kind of trying to do the tricky little big brain stuff to get these little advantages here and there. I don't know if maybe he should have been part of that last fight. Somebody needed to get to the point, and he nearly stole it back. So yeah, I think it's just another in the line of things where I'm like, hey, he's doing pretty well today.
Yeah, and also I think that going into this next round, if these are the compositions we're going to see, I think it does favor the Valiant a bit from what we saw in round 1. Molanran was doing really, really well in the Echo v Echo matchup versus Eileen. So if there's more of that on the docket here, Doa, it looks very good for the Valiant.
Well, this is another point, too, where you can use the Echo in a similar way, where there's a lot of high ground to take advantage of, and there's a lot of, like, tall building areas to sort of, like, fly around and get some unique flanks with the Echo. You can tell both teams are kind of thinking that. We'll see which one gets the better of the assaults. Crystal back on the Ashe as well, which he's done pretty well in the hit scan, so I'm glad to kind of see that.
It also helps in the Echo v Echo matchup because Crystal can just pop a shot or two way more effectively than Tracer can. So I think that also speaks to the composition. So as Crystal doesn't get run down by Choi on the backline. Look at this again. Good DPS coming on the Kronk. Kronk just running for his life. Might actually get healed up. Was able to shake the Echo pressure, but still very low.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, you got looking at Cho Chang chasing down the ball with Crystal. Jihoon out of the fight. Again, a good start for the Valiant. They have control.
Yeah, and again, a lot of that was on the back of Malonran and the damage he was able to rain down from above, right? I mean, we've talked about teams that use the Echo with the Mercy and teams that don't use the Echo with the Mercy, and I feel like we're seeing another, sort of example of how that extra damage from the damage boost, kind of playing like the old Pharmacy kind of thing, but the new upgraded Echo component to it works out pretty well. And there's Malonran getting another kill onto Eileen, so I think it just put another check mark in the it's better with Mercy category.
Oh, I fully agree. I mean, New York made that adjustment after getting rocked by Chengdu, where New York didn't run the Mercy, got destroyed by Chengdu, who was running the Mercy, and guess what? Next New York game, they're running the Mercy. It works well with Ashe, it works well with Echo. It just makes sense. I think it's the right way to go about things right now.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, Eileen down already. Silver 3 picking up a kill on the Hammond. And is it going to be a short-handed attack here on the point? I feel like you got to pull back, but maybe you lose a couple more people if you're not careful. Malonran copies the D.Va. Do you think that was intentional, ZP?
I think it was. I think the D.Va copy is totally fine. Now, is this the right timing for it? You know, not necessarily, but the Valiant have also been very devil-may-care when the throw-out ult says, see my Silver 3 back on round 1. So it's on brand right now.
I mean, at least it does buy them time. It does get them up to 75% plus right now, so it's on the charge to really make something happen here. Eileen looking for shots. Malonran does drop, so it is a 6v5 on the point, and they're just backing off. They're putting Bob in there to delay. Yeah, but I think they're going to give this one over cleanly and then go and push back. Or not.
Yeah,
Crystal gets a kill on the Kareev.
Oh man, are they actually going to fight? The Silver 3 still around. They can make something out of nothing right now. Silver 3 though needs to stay alive, can't get caught. And Silver 3 gets caught, but gets Jihoon along the way. Jihoon tripping over the mine at the very end. And who knows how this is going to end. The Charge just got control of the point. Yet the Valiant, they're right back there. They get the Resurrect. This is looking far better for the Valiant though.
Yeah, it's not over yet. Mandu down. Eileen does get the kill on Malonran, but they've nearly gotten switched back again. Shochang trying to hold the door with the D.Va ultimate, preventing that engage here. Crystal going after the ball, but not quite able to take it down either way. This is still... Oh, stick. Okay.
That looked like she cheated, but it didn't.
That's big.
So the Charge still fighting. They haven't let the Valiant take control yet. The Valiant got very, very close. The Charge just kept enough on the point, and now respawns have come back in. They take down Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee just gets caught from the back, and that should lead to a full reset. And the Charge, halfway there, just about.
Yeah, now what you're going to have to do is just kind of take a little bit of time, put together something a little bit more methodical as you see a couple players taking a dive there just to reset. And yeah, the good news is that Hy-Vee does have his ultimate. Wuya is pretty close to the Transcendence on the Zenyatta, so you've got good tools to work with. And if you look at the support ultimates on the other side, they've got a little ways to go yet. So I feel like for Valiant, the nice thing for them is they only need to win one fight to take this map. Bob's in early.
They just dropped the Bob here for point pressure. That was a full-on, we're coming for the point, but Arrow pays it. Eileen gets caught. Silver 3 gets the back. Jihoon, meanwhile, going for supports instead, but this is going to be a big moment of opportunity for Crystal. That's the Mercy difference. The res still comes in. Wuya back into the fight. And now the Valiant again. Look at the progress. They almost have the point.
He's got to live. Okay, he's got the Transcendence now. There goes Jian. They're in good shape. They've nearly been able to switch it back. What a crucial moment for Hy-Vee to bring Wuya back right as he was about to get that Transcendence. Now they've got a chance. All right, Minefield as they do flip it back, and we're into OT. Charge has no more time. A 10 HP Tracer. Oh no, wait for the health pack to come back.
That time is precious right now. That Pulse Bomb could be going to far better areas. Yeah, finally, I think he got the health pack, but backwards to the point. Kron finds Silver 3. The Pilot D.Va pistol doing some work as Kron nearly picks him up. And it's Choi!
What is this?
He got to the back, Noah, picked off 2. And the Charge staying in it. They're about to bring this back from a 99-0 deficit.
I mean, hero play for Choice. I wanted to get the 2 kills at the end of that, but it was really even like Krog and the mini D.Va doing work, and that's going to seal the deal. Nobody even able to contest, and it looks like Charge do take the first map in this series.
That was a bit of a roller coaster for many a reason. Some of the ultimate usage between the teams, a little bit quirky, some of the engagements non-traditional, but I gotta give credit to the Charge there, where the Valiant had them in check not once but twice. Back on the previous round where the Valiant were coming in stacked with ultimates, the Charge were able to hold them off with less, and just what we saw there where the Valiant basically were in a very good winning position multiple times, and the Charge just kept enough on the point for respawns to come in and, you know, gritted it out.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? At the end of the day, that was Valiant's map to lose. I feel like they had the ultimate advantage. They had the positioning advantage, arguably. And Choi Se-won just says no. You know, he puts the finishing touch on taking out the right players, right time, gets them the win, and Guangzhou Charge with the early lead in this series. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Map 2 right after this.
Apagando las luces.
A bit of a throw there.
Yeah.
Oh, big! Krong! By Krong. What a glorious battle that was. Insane ult with his pulse bomb, and then the cleanup on the Monk, making another one on Nisha. 4K for Mullen Run. Welcome to the 2021 season, and they're going to give a little bit of ground, but not too much. As the Graviton Surge comes in, there it is from 2U. Grabs on both sides. Oh, but Choi Se-won with the 2K pulse bomb, and Charge is going to retake the defense.
There's a world where they can actually hold, but they need this nano.
Oh, especially if you get that shot. Great read from Crystal. There's the Carpe's going to be popping up. Checks the angle at the perfect time. Nails him.
Welcome back to Overwatch League, late night Overwatch League with Doe and ZP. We just saw a very exciting back and forth map between the LA Valiant and the Guangzhou Charge that the Charge ended up winning in the end. You and I were talking during the break, ZP, where it feels like my brain wants to tell me that Valiant won that map, but that's not who actually took it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was really weird because the Valiant, in the 2 rounds that they lost, they came out to huge leads, Doa, and they looked really good. But when it came to winning the very final fight that they needed, even the ult advantage, the Valiant couldn't put it away. And, you know, again, in our heads, you look at that and go, oh, yeah, the Valiant won. But no, they didn't win. The Charge held in there. They won unfavorable fights, and they took map 1 away. So, you know, I think the takeaway there for the Valiant is, man, they looked good at points, but you got to put together for a full round.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Where we talked about the little edges that the Valiant had at the end of that map, you got to close those things out. And, you know, we all predicted Valiant to win this one. You know, a lot of us were talking about it. We were saying that they had the edge coming into this, but, you know, it's APAC. We really have no idea. Honestly, any map could go any way. Any team could beat anybody. That is just the East Division way, ZP. This is the way, as they say.
We've gone there. We've resurrected it. from last year, where that was being said a lot. You know,
Oh, okay.
we say this now, and then I'm gonna end up as Baby Yoda someday. You never know.
Someday that was you're like the Benjamin Button of Yodas. You're like reverse aging.
Yeah, well,
What's
I'm
going
turning
on
into
there?
Yoda. On top of
Oh,
it,
okay. I see.
yeah.
But not Baby Yoda. You're turning into old Yoda, ZP.
No, come on.
I mean, like someday. All I'm saying is that you're aging the appropriate direction.
Yeah.
Like I
Well,
said, no
some say
Benjamin
you might
Button
age
Yoda.
the appropriate direction watching some of these series when teams use ultimates in strange positions. When your entire team has lost a team fight and you drop a primal, that's what ages you. That's what turns you into Yoda.
Yeah,
Stand by
I think that aged our coaches a couple of years anyway. we got the Valiant on the attack here on Hanamura, our second map of the day. They've got a similar comp to what we saw. Got the ball, got the Diva. No Echo, but we are seeing Mullen run back on the Tracer. They're going to just try to jump on the point, try to dislodge Eileen from the high ground. They have done that.
I think this is a good setup for the Valiant. I like the heroes that they're playing. It's something that's all comfort picks across the way, and it's something that's going to make things troublesome for Chosewan here, because not only is it playing Echo into the Ash, into a rough circumstance, but it's also, there's not a lot of support for the Echo. There's no Mercy or anything, so it's sort of the freelance Echo playstyle. But hey, they're able to focus down Cho Chang, and that still might be all they need.
Hey, I mean, you get the Diva out of the mech, and a lot of times that's the key to taking on an attack, especially on a map like Hanamura. It's so hard to get through point A. And now you've got Crystal and the rest of the vulnerable DPS and supports in this kind of awkward spot in the back. Yeah, there go Crystal and Hy-B. It's not going to be much progress on the point right now for Valiant, and back to the drawing board for them.
Yep, definitely so. And I think you look at that fight, it sort of also shows how much the Valiant right now do rely on Cho Chang to sort of make things happen. We saw it in the last map, and yeah, we were focusing a lot on the DPS play, but Cho Chang has consistently been good regardless of what's going on, whereas I feel like everyone else has been a little bit more situational.
So the flank from Mullenrun trying to just remove the defense by Silver 3 as well, trying to just pull people back from that defensive point to allow the rest of the team in.
Yeah, and this is how you get people off the choke point. It's a good early opening. They nearly got a tick for free, which would have been tragic for the Charge. But there's also comes a point where if they don't fully commit, you also just have to go in, because this is spending a lot of time right now, Noah.
Yeah, you got to do something, right? Chosewan's got the ultimate available for the Echo. We'll see what he uses it on. Waiting for it now. Oh no, Mullenrun down already.
And, down your Tracer early, it's tough. And you look at the rest of the Valiant here, though, they're just kind of chilling outside. There's not a lot of decisiveness coming in. The clock just continues to tick on down.
I think this is one of the most punishing maps for teams that don't quite have it all together as a team yet, as far as synergy, as far as coordination goes, because to go through that door successfully, you all need to be on the same page, right? Because in the Overwatch League, you know the other team is going to be on the same page generally. The defense is much easier to kind of run, I think. So I think we're just seeing a little bit of the weakness in the Valiant squad, where they got to make those decisive plays. And hey, Crystal taking out Eileen is a good start.
Yeah, you get the one-man advantage, and now this is where you should feel confident to go in. The problem is, Crystal gets popped by Karib going, by the way, I can act as a DPS to a degree. Mercy Res, though, gotta come in, so the advantage not lasting for long. Krog, meanwhile, investing the Flux off on the other end. Got a two-flank fight going on right now. But the Charge is trying to bring this outside.
Points being taken. They do get 2 ticks, but it looks like that's going to be all they get. Unless they try to sneak it again. Yeah, they went back to try to finish off the rest of the fight. Didn't end up working out. And there's 30 seconds left, CP. They've got to get something going, but they've got the ultimates to do it with.
It doesn't feel like there should be 30 seconds left. I feel like we've seen 2 fights here, Noah, but this is because the Valiant have just spent so long going, do we go in? Have someone touch some points, go in and out. It's like, but wait, we've only seen 2 fights of Overwatch and the round's almost over. What's going on? We've been robbed of entertainment here, Noah. Robbed.
I know, right? We need to claim that entertainment back again. Silver here to try to do that. Crystal able to toss Bob onto the point, and there he comes. Oh, he missed. He went after someone else. All right. Well, Hy-B with the Valkyrie. We'll see if it's going to be enough here.
We'll see. And Silver 3 already down. Charge holding firm on the point. Crystal gets taken out. And you need a Tracer massive play here. That's not happening. Long run's dead.
All right. Well, Chosewan down, but that doesn't matter because nobody's on the point, and it is going to be a full hold for Guangzhou Charge. They gave up 2 ticks, but that's about it. And ZP, I'm starting to get a little bit worried about my pick'ems here.
Same.
Comfort me.
I mean, honestly, I'm going to need the same level of comfort, though, so send it back this way. We're both going down the ship together. We're huddling as we fall into the abyss, hoping that somehow gravity doesn't consume us both. But
we're the band
might be
playing on the Pickham's Titanic as it sinks. Yep.
Yep. I mean, what more can you say for that last fight that wasn't already said, though, or last round, where the Valiant just lost team fights? They didn't fight because they didn't fight. It was kind of mind-numbing.
There's honestly, there's not a lot to talk about with that last round. I mean, it was a nice defense from Charge, of course, but yeah, I mean, Valiant just spent so much time looking in through the door that we didn't really get a fight at all. You know?
Are they home? Maybe they're not.
Yeah.
Home. Maybe they're not there.
I'll come back later.
Yeah.
They look busy.
Can someone just check the back door? We don't want to be rude. We don't want to just barge our way in. Very Midwestern sensibilities coming in for the Valiant, perhaps.
Exactly. Or I was kind of thinking like Home Alone. They're kind of like the wet bandits when they see like the shadows through the window, and they're like, oh well, there must be a bunch of people there, but they didn't really check. Yeah. They didn't check to see.
And then when they finally
round
went in,
two.
they got pink in.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. Stepped on a nail or some Christmas ornaments. Oh, that movie is so painful. If you go back and watch that again, that's some serious injury stuff.
The wet bandits would have died like something like 20 times over, maybe more. People have done calculations. It's out there on YouTube.
Oh, easily.
You can find the power.
Speaking of some calculations, Eileen calculating possibly sneaking onto the point here. Again, just to draw attention. Just walk around. No, he's going to go back out. All right. Well, just a full scout. Now they know what the enemy team is. If they were curious before, they know where everyone is situated. They know the positioning, which is the most crucial thing there.
Look, sometimes in Sombra you get to just cosplay as an observer from StarCraft. I would love this as a first-person gameplay.
He does swap over to the Echo as well, so yeah, it was purely a scouting run. They wanted to see what the positioning was for Valiant, and now that they know, we'll see what the attack is. Yeah, Choisewan able to find a good angle on top to get a little bit of damage done. He can need more than that, though.
Well, and the thing for the Charge here is that, okay, they've burned a minute of time, but they have a lot of time and not much need to go. We're not draw territory. One way or another, this will end with a W for one of these teams. All here on point A. But the Charge are going to take it slow and slow and steady. They take down Silver 3, and now they can just progress towards the point.
I mean, this is just such a better example of what Valiant was trying to do. And look at that already, the Nano Boost onto Rio.
Yeah. This is easy cleanup. The Nano, I mean, Rio's barely even trying, though. It's just like, I'm in the right spot, right time. I'm going to continue to hold down my left mouse button.
CP, I'm just going to get up and go stand in front of my screen now. It's about it.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, well, that was a fast map. What can you say? A little bit of attempt here from Silver 3 to try to, make things happen, but that is that. It's going to be another win for the Guangzhou Charge, going up with a quick 2-0 over the Los Angeles Valiant. And ZP, what is going on here? It just feels like Valiant just doesn't have. I don't know what's going. Like, I don't know how to describe it even. They don't have the. They don't have the plan. They've got the individual skill, like we said, but they just don't have the plan coming into this stuff. It seems like.
No, and I mean, again, I look forward to the future VOD reviews that people are going to do on that Valiant first point attack, because it's just confusion. We were confused looking at it. I think the Valiant were confused even talking amongst themselves as it was going on, because there just wasn't much action. It was just sort of poking and prodding, and they got a little bit on the point, but they could have played almost any comp DOA, full commit onto the point multiple times, and probably have gotten more. But, it didn't pan out, and now the Charge in a great spot to sweep the series.
If you're going to do this surround, if you're going to try the flank play that Valiant was trying in that point A, you got to know how to close the trap, attack from both sides in the end. And they weren't able to make that happen. Another win for Charge. They're one map win away from closing out the series in short order. We'll find out if they can do just that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Hey, we're back with some late night Overwatch League. Doan ZP here with you. And you know what? Might be a pretty quick series because Guangzhou Charge were able to crush Hanamura. Valiant not even really able to step on the point more than just a little bit. And I expected better from Valiant, honestly. Like, we did see some individual skill. And even today's ZP, we saw some kind of flashes of brilliance from players like Molanran. Crystal had a couple good plays. Again, Shocheng looks like a pretty okay off-tank, but they just aren't able to put it together as a team right now. The coordination just really does not look like it's there.
No, it hasn't been. But let me tell you, Doa, I think you're assuming a little bit too much here because you forget the power of the caster curse, which is to say, just when you think that the series you've seen it all, you've had your expectations defied. No. We could go further beyond. We could bring this to the next level. We could have a reverse sweep. We could go to map 5. We could plumb the depths of Overwatch here, Doa, together.
We could. We could, and we probably will. We'll see what happens anyway. I mean, something major needs to change, though, for Valiant, right? Like, they need to be able to coordinate a little bit better, especially on some of these attacks. I mean, if you go back to that Hanamura point A, which I'm sure a lot of us are going to be doing in the coming week when we do some VOD review, is that, you know, we had Silver 3 and we had, like, you know, Molanran on the point, putting some pressure on, right? And, you know, so when you do that, that's supposed to kind of pull apart the defense. A couple people have to go back to handle you, right? Then your team pushes through the door, and then you're able to bring those other two champions on and dive it, right? And be able to sort of take the enemy team out chunk by chunk, right? But the dive never really happened. They just sort of like watch their teammates come in and dive, like, oh no, that looks rough over there. We're not getting involved. Yep. So what I want to see is just more synergy.
I love how you described that at the very beginning, where you're just like, we're gonna be looking back at this, like, you know, almost as if you remember the completely epic Valiant v Charge Hanamura game, a game that to this day, our finest Overwatch scientists have analyzed this map so many times over, and we still wonder, how did this occur? How did this happen?
That's right. It flies in the face of science and everything we know about the universe.
Yes.
As we go to Eichenwalde, our perhaps final map of this series, we'll see. I mean, the Charge has a chance to close it out right here. The Valiant really need to get something going. They are going to be on attack again, I believe. And, you know, best of luck to GP. Best of luck.
Strap me in, Doa. I'm ready for what is to come.
I can't. We're socially distant.
Well, yeah. Just do some green screen magic. Okay. I believe. Figure out how to throw a harness on me. I don't know. We're in this for the long.
I will overnight ship you some straps.
Yeah, those won't raise any questions whatsoever. It's just for broadcast.
No, that clip can't be used for nefarious.
No.
But I'm not concerned. I lean on the McCree, and you have a lot of good corners of flashbang around here on defense. So I like the pick. I like the double. They're playing it safe. Molanran over on the other side, though, on the Pharah, kind of interesting. Crystal's going to take a pot shot here and probably swap. I would guess, yeah, he's going to go back to switch. Thought he could maybe get a kill here.
Sometimes you don't even get the pot shot. Sometimes you see a Zarya bubble, you go, I'm out. Time to swap.
Exactly.
Right.
So, all right. They're going to try to infiltrate the back line again. We saw them try to do this before. Something similar on Hanamura. Can they pull it off a little bit better this time around?
Look, I pray that we don't see a repeat of Hanamura. I want to believe the Valiant will send all 6 in at the same time. More than twice in the match. Like, that, right now, that is my benchmark. That's all I want to see right now. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're putting a little bit of pressure on Krong in that early room. All right, Silver 3 down already. Eileen manages to pick up the first kill there. Shield onto Rio gets him out in a hurry, and already Valiant on the retreat for the moment.
I'm just regretting my pickups right now. This is...
I know,
the Valiant looks so good back on round 1.
We're never going to get that May statue, ZB.
Yeah, no, I was never going to win that statue. Never lucky.
Oh, well. I hear there's a warehouse filled with unpainted Soldier 76 statues somewhere.
All right, Silver 3. I was about to say Silver 3 went in, but Silver 3 is now gone. And again, the rest of Valiant, they're just sitting outside the archway.
It's happening again, ZP. No, hold me.
No, please. Just go in together.
Oh,
Like,
no.
what is this like? Hey guys, you know, it'd be a cool joke. We just stay outside and watch Silver 3 roll in and get blown up. We'll tell them we're going to go in with them, but we're not. Just not.
Live up to your name. I'm talking about the LA part that means aggression. Get in there. Come on, Valiant. You can do it. Oh, Silver 3 gets knocked out of the
please.
out of the
Protect
slam.
Silver 3. He got out. We're good. We're good.
All right, but look at all the ults available now for Charge. They're in a better position there. Ooh, okay. Crystal finds a pulse bomb on Krong. All right, there's a start.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually something that can work here for the Valiant. They used the Transcends really early, though, and the rest of the Charge was able to mostly disengage. Kriv, though, in real danger. Kriv taken out by Silver 3. The revenge finally in. And the Valiant, it took a while, Doa, but then put it all together. It looks like they're going to get point A.
I see. You lulled them into a false sense of security with the early Transcendence, and then as soon as it ends, you run in and surprise them with your aggression. And that's how you take the point.
Whatever works. We got the payload moving. We're past point A. We could put Hanamura in the first half of this round behind us. And, you know, beams aside, the Valiant do look good when they put it all together. Just, it's kind of like astrology. You're waiting for the sun, moon, and stars to align.
That's true, yep. Jupiter has to be in like retrograde or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know astrology very well. I only know that Final Fantasy 14 class.
Yeah. That has very little to do with stars, by the way.
Oh. Well,
kind of
I tried to make a reference. I tried, ZB.
Oh, I appreciate it. I do. But meanwhile, a little bit slow going for the Valiant, as I said. Yep. But this next fight should be, I mean, it's going to be close between both teams. I think whoever wins kind of sets the tempo for the rest of the map.
Certainly do. Oh, and Crystal goes down early. The headshot from Eileen. Malenron was about to use that EMP to try to get something going here. They're going to need to wait.
Yeah, this is a lot of waiting for the Valiant, I think, what we've seen here today. And the wait's going to continue as Crystal gets picked off again.
Oh, no. All right, well, you know, we go back to what you and I were talking about earlier in the day and what we were talking about when we were doing our VOD review earlier this week, in that Crystal looks okay on the Tracer, but I just feel like they get better results when he's playing like the Ashe and McCree, the you know, the more mid-rangey hit scan, accuracy dependent kind of character works out. There's the EMP, only hits Rio, but they do get Choi Se-wan. He might have gotten tagged by that too, I didn't quite see it. Crystal does get a kill there. Can they push the payload pretty far with this? So, ooh, I don't know, ZP.
They didn't get enough off the EMP, and as a result, the Charge, okay, we lost one. We're still totally able to win this fight. And meanwhile, the Charge are just sitting on an immense stockpile of ultimates right now. They have not been pressured to use anything. They're going to have a full 6.
Yeah, 6 ults. I mean, there's going to be 5 on the other side. So we're coming into a pretty apocalyptic fight, I think, here for the control of point B. But I want to go back to what you said earlier, where you talked about one fight determining the tempo. This is one fight that's definitely going to determine, I think, how the rest of this round is going to go.
Yep. As long as Crystal doesn't get picked off early, which was very nearly the case. Eileen, I think, landed a headshot there. It wasn't on camera, but life bar tells us. No, Silver 3. Silver 3 needs to get out. Silver 3 has gotten out. All 6 still up. And here comes Rally. This is going to be the Valiant full committing here. Once the Rally's in, you got to go. Meanwhile, Rio did get Nano, went to the back, and had to disengage. Krong, Graviton up. That's a lot of pressure for one Tracer, but it does get Crystal out of the fight. And Choi able to get to the back, finds the line run, and a little bit clunky, but still in favor of the Charge.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately for Shochang, his grab did not result in really any kills here. And so Krong able to kind of separate the team into 2 chunks, 2 bite-sized chunks for the rest of the team to take down. And that is a solid defense. And now, you know, we still have Rio with his Primal Rage. I'm kind of shocked that he didn't end up using that in the last fight. So they've got one very powerful positioning ult to utilize, and there might only be like one more fight here.
Yeah, and 45 seconds left to go. I mean, the problem is you need 2 fights here for the Valiant too. The get from where the payload is to the very end, and that last fight near the bridge, not easy.
I mean, it would be disastrous too for a Valiant to get stopped right here, because that would almost certainly mean a 3-0 for Charge. I mean, if you take point A at all, there's very little circumstances that are going to stop you from pushing the payload as far as it is right now for Valiant.
Yeah, and all right, Valiant going to be making their final attempt here, though. Final 15 seconds. The Charge not really giving up their high ground position, going, we'll commit when we need to commit, and we'll see if you go to a bad spot. And speaking of a bad spot, Charge will get pushed there. Krongo getting very, very low. All the action taking place indoors.
Oh, no.
Rio.
Yeah. Oh, Rio
Pretty low,
drops
but
low
what's
too.
going on the payload? Is anyone going to touch? No, they don't touch!
Oh, no! What? Choice A1 didn't get there. I mean, Molenran, rather, didn't get there.
We were missing
What?
that in this
All
series.
right.
We had a lot of tropes in this series in Overwatch so far. We didn't have a certified Charlie Niner. There it is. We got it. It's off the
Esports
checklist.
certified Charlie Niner right there, ZP.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, it's just not Valiant's day. You really struggle to push the payload. You struggle to put together, really, I mean, and more than 1 or 2 coherent pushes across 3 maps now, and then you don't even touch the payload. Like, it's rough. You know, we see where that payload stopped. You know, if Guangzhou Charge is able to take point A, seems hard to believe they won't be able to get it right to that blue box of victory. It's rough.
I don't know. I mean, it's so weird because, you know, we do look at these teams and go, what are the positive parts? What are the good parts? And I do think if you look at the Valiant with an open mind, there are moments where they look good. But then there's moments like we've seen the last map and a half where it's just a head scratcher. The right hand isn't talking to the left, and it's just weird. Like, it really is at times.
I'd be really curious to learn about comms on this team, about you know, who's doing most of the shot calling, what the sort of structure is, because, like you said, it doesn't seem like, it just seems like there's kind of a lack of decision making going on. You know, it's not even that they're trying different pushes. Very nice attempt by Choice A1 there. It's not even that they're trying pushes that aren't working out so much as they're taking a long time to really get anything going, and then when it does, it looks very disjointed. They're on the defense now. They've looked better on the defense, you know, but they're going to need to, I think they're going to need to make this a point A hold if they're going to want to stay alive in this series.
Yeah, and point A holds easier said than done. Eichenwalde, though, not unprecedented. The Charge, though, to their credit, they've been a lot more decisive. But sometimes being decisive means you just quickly beat people to the enemy. But, you know, in this case, it's a team effort rather than just the main tank going in. They've lost multiple people all in one go.
I don't know if that's better or not, but either way, it's a good start for LA Valiant. Shou Chang, who gets slept there. Luckily, no one else around to really take advantage of it. But yeah, good start for the Valiant. And, you know, they, on defense at least, they can sort of have the positions they've worked out in scrims that they like to play in. They can kind of branch out based on that. A couple members of Charge on the point already, though. This is where you test the defense.
And, I mean, bear in mind they did get that early tick. Rio picked off. Point presence sometimes challenging for the Valiant here. Shou Chang, though, chase it down over to the side. And, all right, about a minute and a half burned off the clock. And, yeah, the Valiant actually pick up some real momentum on the defense. This is not at all a sure thing for the Charge.
You know, and the best part about it for the Valiant as well is if you look at their ult percentage, they haven't had to use anything yet, so they're going to be able to come into these last 2 minutes with a lot of ultimates to theoretically efficiently use to stretch out these defenses and maybe get that point A hold. Like, they are in a position where they could certainly win this map and keep the series going.
Yeah. Well, for the Charge, they do have a key tool coming up here, which is very likely going to be the Nano onto Rio. Rio already pretty low. Ideally would want to wait till leap into this. As Grim nearly fights it. Took a shot, but here comes Rio. The Nano's in, diving on over, looking for at least one early on. And in the distraction, Eileen able to burn down Silver 3. Primal Rage going to be invested. And this should be decisive enough, Noah.
I mean, the Transcendence comes out, but it's a little bit too late to save some crucial members. Shou Chang down. Eileen managed to find him with a Deadeye. And yeah, looks like this point may be going over in a hurry to Charge, and they're going to have a decent amount of time to push the payload.
Yeah, and remember, they don't have to go to the death zone on point B, which is the bridge. They don't have to go through that very defensively oriented area. They just need to push the payload a little bit up the hill, and they don't have to worry about the grab because Shou Chang threw it away very late into the last fight.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Couple ultimates available. All right, there's the grab. They actually used the Echo. There's another right. Wow, high beat down already, though. Oh, ZP.
I mean, honestly, not a bad counter engage coming in from the Valiant there. I think going for the grab there, I see what the Charge are trying to do and keep the momentum, but it just backfired horribly. Really nice response from the Valiant.
I mean, and it's things like this that give you hope for the Valiant, right? Like, look at the play from Mullenran, just doing a great job at using that Winston ultimate to force the last final kills to chase those down and stagger the respawns a little bit. Even getting one after swapping back into the Echo. And so we know there's some individual talent on this team. It's just putting it together. You know, it's like they've got a lot of, like, your favorite pieces of Legos, but they don't have the instructions to build the car, you know?
Yeah, and then you just build some monstrosity because you're 5 years old and you think you're being creative, but you've just made nothing. You've made an Eldritch abomination.
That's right. Your parents aren't really impressed. They're just telling you that to make you feel good.
Hey, you know,
it's not a helicopter.
Rio, though, nano boost over and in, takes that booyah. Good execution there, and ooh, the follow through even better. And the Charge have just about done it, Doa. I mean, the Valiant will be able to get back out, but the positioning is going to be rough, and they're now out of chances.
Yeah, this payload is going to get nearly there. They're only pushing it with one person, but they've got great setups to make sure to pinch off the defense when they try to come back in again. Yeah, they've got the doors covered. It's going to be really tough for Valiant to hold this one, and they are, all right, they are going to get there. They get silver 3 on the point. Oh,
meanwhile,
nice.
Eileen just composed, nice flashbang, fall through, gets a Deadeye in the silver 3, and the Korea dominating presence on the high ground as Eileen just says, we're done, get us out of this match, we're pushing this in, it's a 3-0.
All right, Eileen decides to just end it all himself, and Guangzhou Charge gets the 3-0. Our pick'ems. Yep. Pick'em's already dead, ZP. That was about as opposite as you can get for what we predicted there. Choi Se-wan, you know, doing what he can, I suppose, playing well on that Tracer, but more than anything, I feel like this was more a match that Valiant lost than Guangzhou won. I don't want to take away anything from Guangzhou because they had some great plays, but Valiant, again, just seems like they just couldn't get it started to begin with.
Well, you see, here's the difference, though, is that the Charge are playing standard, good, like, not the most spectacular play I've seen, but solid, right? For the most part. Whereas the Valiant stole the show by just making us confused at what we were watching at points here. Like, there was actual confusion, and it wasn't just us, it was the Valiant themselves, certainly on Hanamura, definitely a bit on Eichenwalde, and it's one of those things where it's like, it's funny, but it's also, it's like, come on, we know you have talent. We've seen you do well at certain points, just like, put it together for a full map. That's all.
Well, it's a new roster. It's a lot of players that are getting their first sort of experiences in the Overwatch League. So it does take a while to get used to that. You know, I'm sure people aren't expecting the world from them right away, but it is a rough start for the Valiant this season. I think a lot of people were expecting it, but there's little rays of hope. But that said, we've got our player of the match, and I'm excited because it is Kariv. That's right. He's the player of the match again. The second time in a row these teams met, but on the opposite team. He was MVP back when he was on the Valiant, and they played in 2019. Now he's the MVP on the other side for Charge today. What an interesting story amid a little bit of a puzzling match.
You know what? We needed a little bit of consistency today here, Noah, and Kariv was consistent. That's why he's getting the Player of the Match award for production, because stat line-wise, performance-wise, wasn't dying a lot, was getting good pickoffs when needed, was a stable force for the Charge all match long. And, I mean, that's kind of what you can come to expect from Kariv, right? Where even if you wanted to look at Kariv and go, oh, well, you're not the best support in the league, no one's ever accused Kariv of being, you know, towards the bottom end. And, you know, frequently it's reversed, right? They go, oh, top supports, you got to have Kariv. Which is why he's been, you know, elected as a role star in the past. So yeah, makes sense.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I've still got my signed, like, a 2018 inaugural season, like, a Kariv trading card on my desk. Like, it's this guy. I've been a fan of him since he was in Korea. He's come, of course, to the Overwatch League years ago and has done quite well, including today. The bloodthirsty Zenyatta, kind of the premier death dealer for him, but he can play a lot. He's a great flex support. Definitely a big part of Charge's win today.
Yeah, and look, I mean, if you're a Charge fan, you look at this and go, good, you won. Like, if the Charge had lost this game the way the Valiant were playing, you'd have even more questions. But, you know, for a Charge fan, the season's been a little bit disappointing so far, but you do like the fact that they really come in here, get a 3-0, and go, okay, let's build forward.
Yep. That's right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. A lot more Overwatch League action coming at you right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League. The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. And by State Farm. For auto, home or renters insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here, you and I were talking during the break about the match. It's what can you say? This is kind of how our conversation went during the break. We're just like, whoa, that was we thought the Valiant coming into this one, they looked like they were going to do what Guangzhou did to them in a way,
Yes.
where we expected the coordination to be a little bit more on the Valiant side based on what we had seen in their first two matches, and it seemed to be Guangzhou that was having trouble putting it all together, whereas in the end it ended up kind of being the opposite, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did, especially once you got to the point that you were playing control points where you had all again the same page. It wasn't just a wild death match. And, the Valiant, to put mildly, there was confusion, Doa. There was confusion of what to do.
Well, it's at any rate, it's crunch time. That's right. Presented by Cheez-It Grooves, of course. And what better mind crunch is there to talk about experiencing than checking out the Hanamura Point A push than the LA Valiant? My mind was certainly crunched watching this. They didn't even get in the end. That was just a self-destruct in front of the point. But if you look at what they tried to do, they tried to get on the point and then separate the defense, right? Very classic way to approach Hanamura. Get the ball, get the tracer on the point, make the defense decide who they want to go after, and then the rest of your team moves in when they get the opportunity, when the defense breaks down a little bit. But the call just didn't really seem to happen. The coordination was not there. The two pieces were moving at different times, and Guangzhou had no trouble at all stopping it.
Well, look, I think this is a perfect crunch time because, people think of crunch and they go, oh, you're talking about sacks, you're talking about the crunch in your mouth. But no, what we saw in this last game is that there's multiple ways to experience the sensation of crunch. And if you're watching that Hanamura attack from the Valiant's perspective, you felt the crunch in your very soul as you just saw, this is the attack we're seeing, this is the coordination we're going, this hurts. Everyone felt the burn on that particular crunchy moment. And, you know, it's a new way to appreciate crunch dough, just not the way people might have expected.
Right. It was a mind crunch, just not in the way we're used to with the delicious cheesy grooves, of course. But on that note, it's time for taking another quick break. And when we come back, our second series of the night coming at you. It's going to be Seoul Dynasty taking on NYXL. This one should be pretty sick. I'm looking forward to it. You should too. Do not go anywhere. The Overwatch League comes back after just a short break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. So much flavor, it's a mind crunch. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League, and by IBM, the official cloud and AI partner of the Overwatch League.
It looked like they had the potential to come in, and they're going all in.
Squad.
Oh, yeah. And they're gooning it out. Oh, but they paid for it at the same time. The floor is unstoppable right now, despite losing Bianca and Jonak. You have the upcoming floor absolutely popping off.
Or barely gets the primal on time. Gets the assassination onto Alar. Now follows up with the Tony, follows up with the Carpe. Gesture going huge, finds 3 kills, forces the recall.
Currently a Friday IDK on the Lucio, so that way the fast rotations could go in. Very much coming forward, but the immortality field and Gushway taking so much of that damage. He gets cleaned up first, and that's going to follow up by the rest of Spark. They may want to go for a reset here because NYXL, they're already off to a strong foot.
Around the side, the Nana Boost does come through. Carpe already getting done now, doesn't have to be worried about the flashbang interruption. The immortality field cleared out as well, and Front will manage to find 3 back in the front. We get a 4.
And we are back on the Overwatch League. Doa and ZP here with you. And I'm psyched, ZP, because we got a great match out of us. It's going to be the Seoul Dynasty versus the New York Excelsior. Both teams that have struggled a little bit, but I think there's a lot to be excited about on both of these squads as well. What stands out to you when you think about this incoming match?
Well, honestly, I look forward to Seoul's attacks because Seoul is incredibly decisive. Gesture gets backed up. It's a full team effort. And I need a palate cleanser after the last match, so I want to see Seoul on offense, man. Please, just wash the last match completely out of my system. That's what I need.
Yeah, that's right. And don't forget, you've got a chance to submit some amazing artwork that you yourself have created. Overwatchleague.com/art-gallery. I think we want to see your best May art right now, actually. It is a May Melee after all, ZP. So throw us your best May art, and you've got a chance to have your art, I believe, displayed, if I remember that correctly.
You know what, though? I'm going to enter. You've seen my art up close and personal. It's a party games recently. I'm going to bring my best stick figure to the competition. I got it.
That's right. Your best drawful game. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah. All right. Well, let's start talking about our next series here. Like we mentioned, it is going to be the Seoul Dynasty taking on the New York Excelsior. And, you know, again, you look at these rosters, and the thing with Seoul that's very strong as we check this out is it's going to be the Prophet and a Gesture show to the most part. But look at this. Starting roster, ZP, does not include Gesture. They're bringing in Marvel. What does that say to you? I'm a little bit surprised.
I mean, it says potentially many things, but more than anything else, I think it's that Seoul has always, as a team, had a history of doing a lot of swaps, sometimes with reason, sometimes without. Marvel's still on the roster, and they clearly have an intent here. I mean, maybe it means you're going to see Marvel come in on the ball who knows? I mean, it's Seoul, and Seoul's coaching staff has always been, very creative, but sometimes to their own detriment.
Yeah, we got to talk about Animo as well. He's going to be playing against his former squad today. Used to be the main support for NYXL back in the day. So it's going to be, and I mean, obviously the rosters have changed a bit, but Jonak's still over there, and Animo's, going to be hard-pressed to not accidentally try to damage boost him if he's close by.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get too close with Jonak, Joe just go, by the way, you're on the other team. Let me help you to the spawn. But yeah, it is a little bit weird because you think about the long shared history between the two of them, and you're right, once teammates, now rivals. And I think it's going to be interesting to watch New York here because New York, while they didn't look great in their initial outing, this is a team that a lot of people think has quite a lot of potential. I certainly think that. And Seoul, on paper, this is a match that I'd say Seoul should win. But
sure,
it's also the regular season, and Seoul isn't always the most consistent team in the regular season. Obviously, new season, we'll see how it pans out. But, I mean, this is a match that really could go either way. But I think regardless of which way it goes, it should be much cleaner Overwatch than the match we just saw.
I would hope so. I don't want you to jinx anything, ZP, so I'm just going to say I like watching a lot of these players play. Hopefully we'll get some good games. One advantage that NYXL is coming into this one with is that they've got a player named Friday. It is Friday. You've got this sort of like cosmic synergy, I think, going on there. Not that I'm an expert on those types of things, but I'm just going to make an assumption. It's going to help them out.
I already like this a lot from New York, where, again, they had that experience with Chengdu, where Chengdu beat them running Mercy pretty much the entire time. New York wasn't running it. New York was at times running things like Moira, Lucio, and New York they've evolved. And as I think Friday's going to stay in the Mercy. And I think it's good because Ivy's going to get far more support than, again, compositions of run where it's like, you're an Echo, go freelance. So
yeah, we're going to have Pharah 1.0 versus Pharah 2.0 in the sky there a little bit with Profit on the Pharah for Seoul Dynasty. Both Mercies, though, damage boosting their airborne compatriots there. And we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, I mean, this is the duel in the skies is going to decide a lot. Obviously, the ground battle can sort of deal fights. As we say that, Marble booped off. He was going for the pile driver, and Bianca, I think, just gave him the little tap right off the edge. Or, though, taken out by Griv, went in for that. And Bianca continuing the assault. A good showing for the New York tank line to start things out.
Yeah, not bad. All right, well, Creative does get the res from Animo. So Seoul's still in this one for the moment, but Marvel's going to be able to get back to the point in a hurry. Certainly will. And it was Seoul Dynasty that claimed the point during all of that madness as well. And looks like they're going to be able to hold it for the moment. Profit did end up dying there. Res come through. Oh, nice block from Bianca to make that happen.
Now, Bianca's been doing super well for New York so far. The problem is for New York, they have to bring it over to the point. Jonak entering the action here from afar. You can't give Jonak this much space. Yeah, I know. Calm down, Noah. It's okay. All right.
I like Jonak a lot.
Yeah, I noticed.
He is my favorite player of all time in Overwatch. I'll just say it. He's a bloodthirsty of all supports. He's the best Zenyatta to ever pick up the hero and play it. And you saw why right there. I mean, he knows how to position perfectly. He can hit those shots. He's got deadly right clicks. He's the man on Zenyatta, no doubt.
Well, he's not only the man, but also the one with the Transcendence next fight. Flora going for the pulse bomb, trying to end it early. Does not connect quite as well. Valkyrie can be out here early for Friday. Both teams right now posturing as Valkyrie's in process. Ivy clipped out of the sky by Vince. Yakima trying to bring back Jonak's out of the fight, so they res up Ivy, but they're not getting the Transcendence within this here in New York. Kind of struggling to bring this back. They're hoping that Flora Ivy can land something, but time is running out. Bianca self-destruct into the white room and just dies before remecking. Oof.
I mean, great shot by Creative to take out Bianca before he had a chance to really contest this. Soul trying to retake the point, but Ivy managed to swap over to the Diva for the moment with the Echo ultimate, and they're going to continue to hold this. Ooh, maybe. I feel like they've got enough people now. There's the self-destruct, so that's going to buy them a bit more time.
Jonak finally using Transcendence. Friday, though, no Transcendence going to help versus the Pulse Bomb. Profit lands the stick. Soul back in on the fight, but honestly, not the worst exchange for New York. They still get a lot of progress, and even as Seoul starts cleaning up a bit here, they still have to be measured. Ivy took down Creative. This is one of the things where New York will kind of linger, Noah.
Well, this has been an insane melee from start to finish in this round. The points gone back and forth a couple times already, and it just feels like both teams have just been hyper-aggressive finding picks. What a different style to our last game where both teams just kind of going all gas, no brakes at the beginning of this one.
It's a new channel now, as it turns out. Good old Channel 5.
Not
See the
the
underbelly, but
speaking.
Yeah, well, you know, picked up on anyways as Jonak got the early pickup from the Prophet. Soul lost that early, and now New York just gets to casually roll onto that point. And Jonak's looking more alive right now, Doa, than I feel like he has all season long so far. That's a good omen for New York.
I mean, both of these teams came to play today, no doubt about that. Flora finds one onto Fitz to start things off for NYXL. You and I were talking about how important Flora is going to be. Wow, they nearly lost Yakpunk. They got the healing with the Transcendence. Ooh, Jonak may want that one for the next fight here. They've lost Friday, so it's going to be a bit awkward. They got
Prophet threw himself in, body and soul into that one. Flora, though, finds Fitz on the outskirts.
Yeah,
Soul getting real close to the tank. New York having to go in. Flora looking for the stick, whiffing on that, or at least feeding it to Toyo at the very end.
I mean,
New York.
Yeah, Toyo managed to absorb that one. Close call though, but Soul does retake. And I gotta shout out Creative here. As far as aggressive Zenyatas go, Creative been hitting the headshots all night. There's another one as he takes out Flora. Maybe, the thing is like, if we got a challenger to the crown, at least in this round anyway, Jonak's gotta keep up with Creative now.
I would have loved if Jonak had just picked someone off there as you said that. It would have been perfect time. It wasn't the case with Yakpunk able to take that Prophet. Suddenly, New York with a really good opportunity. They can roll in. They're going to have 6. Soul, bring the Valkyrie early. Soul has a big support advantage, so they can start with the Valkyrie, wait for respawns, move in the Transcendence. Duplicate, though, used. It's used on a McCree, not the most common duplicate target, but hey, it puts Ivy on McCree, and thus far not working out super well. Ivy pretty low, self-destruct coming in. Duplicate over as the self-destruct catches Friday, and Soul have found a way through.
I mean, that kind of says it all right at the end, like Creative taking down Jonak as well as everybody else on New York falling for the most part. Soul trying to just live out through this last bit of overtime, and they will do just that and claim the first point here on Lijiang Tower. And that was a great round, ZP. That was just a lot of great individual play, great ult usage. Wow, I like the series already.
Yeah, I mean, that was entertaining. We saw some good swaps between the teams. We saw, heavier impact from Zenyatas than at times we've seen over the last few games. Now, of course, I'm sorry to tell you, Doa, but the Zens are being swapped out. It's close quarters combat here at Control Center, and that means Immortality Field is being summoned.
Hey, I mean, Batiste is one of the most entertaining supports to watch, I think, right now, too. He's a hit-scan hero. What more do you want, You want to be able to heal, but you also want to be able to shoot.
Well, between both teams going to be running fairly rough-centered compositions, but you got the key point of difference here. One side going for the May McCree, more standard. Prophet can't resist the Jay Silly.
I mean, Jay Silly, is that his new name? I didn't know that. Wow, things have really changed since the last time I cast it.
Yeah, if you go into any comp game, that's just, it's his new nickname. It's been there for a while.
Oh. All right, well.
Times change,
I'm a poser, who do you know? Fitz, though, staying on the Syndra, which is fun to see, not the Syndra, the Symmetra. Oh my gosh. Get my games crossed again. This is what happens. Freelance life. It's going to be a point cap, though, for Seoul Dynasty as they get things started early. And I'm liking the Marvel choice for this map more and more. Marvel has always been a better Reinhardt than Gesture, in my opinion. And so bring him to this point where he can play the Reinhardt, where he can play more of these sort of point defense styles, I think really suits him well. And it suits Soul well to use him in this way.
I do like the Diva swap in here from New York, where Bianca will at least be able to eat a good amount of the Junkrat bombs heading on in. But the Junkrat's still posing some issues for New York as they try and get through in one piece. But now, Marvel getting low. They see a weakness there, but the Immortality Field comes in. Wants Marvel back up. The Shatter now built. Marvel immediately drops it down. Flora put to ground. Immortality Field, though, out from Jonak. He punishes Prophet on the other end. And suddenly, New York still in a really good spot in this fight. All healing up. Symmetra shield throw down. Now Yakpunk moving forward. Earth Shatter up for him. He drops it and hits nothing. No one hit by that Shatter. And Flora gets punished by Fitz as now 5v5. But Soul starting to rally, and the Flux might put it away.
All right, Toyo manages to take out Yakpunk. That's a good start there. They've got Marvel still on the point for the moment. Now with the beat on both sides. Ooh, can they do it? Ivy, though, got to come out of that ice block at some point. They've got the Immortality Field, too, but Marvel low health. Yeah, he's going to go down. What a back-and-forth fight this has been. Jonak drops a wall. That's a bold move before already with the pick on Animo, and it looks like they've got it, ZP. They're going to be able to put this one back.
Yeah, I mean, Seoul almost had it there for a moment, but the problem is they didn't take down Jonak, who I think during the course of that fight got 2-3 pickoffs, heavy contribution. I mean, swapping between I heal my team to I'm also DPS for my team. So again, Jonak looking very good in the middle of that team fight.
I mean, what do you expect, right? I mean, we know how accurate he is on the Zenyatta. You know, now he doesn't need to wait for his projectiles to get there. He can just play a hit scan hero, right? So he's going to be in good shape. That was great wall placement, good timing for it. I don't know if Seoul's maybe expecting it to come that late in the fight. And got the point. Now they got to hold it. Goodbye, Fitz. Good start for NYXL and the defense here.
Yeah, I mean, NYXL picked their moment, went in, got the early pick, and you know, the other thing again that I got to compliment, I think Bianca's having an incredible game so far for New York. Yeah, they didn't take round 1, but right place, right time a lot. And now that they're running the May and they have control, entry here is tough for Seoul. That's why they've gone to the May, just to try and use walls to deal with the wall, as it were.
Well, we talked about the May McCree being the more traditional comp right now. This is more of the meta, and you can see why. You can just control so much space, especially on a point like this. Earth Shatter goes in. They've got the wall up as well to add some more damage on ZP. Can they win the fight, though?
Bianca bomb to the back, creates enough space. It was a really good lamp coming in from Jonak. New York does entirely escape unscathed. Seoul gonna be pushing the issue. Jonak under pressure. Flora, though, says, give me a little bit of room. Deadeye out and over. Not going to get anything, but does, again, give New York key breathing room. And now you got to look towards Ivy. Ivy's going to be looking to move in, set up the Blizzard, if Seoul comes in a little bit more aggressively.
The Reinhardt shield was out. Seoul had to back away. Fitz lifted up by the May wall. Anamo down already. It better be a good Deadeye who can't find... Well, he did find Ivy, okay. But not before Ivy tossed out the Blizzard. If they can keep Marvel alive, Seoul can keep pushing this.
And I mean, overall, Seoul went in. They had to drop the Blizzard off to the side. They got zoned out a little bit from the Blizzard on New York. And New York, actually, they're going for the swap. Ivy now going to the Tracer just to get back to the fight a little bit earlier. It's still in contest. Jonak in the back drops the window, forces McCree for himself. And Seoul, they have to respect it, even with the window of their own. Marvel gets caught. Jonak out of the fight. A big pickoff for the Dynasty. And now, again,
I mean, just been back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back and forth so much on this point. Still, Fitz does go down. That's a big pick for Friday.
Out of it, Floor gets profits.
Yep. New York, okay. Seoul. I mean, this has just been so back and forth. Like, Seoul comes back again. If they can flip it, they've got a chance to win it. They're already at 73%, but New York does not want to give it up. Now they finally give it over. Seoul's gotta hold a couple ultimates on each side, but it's looking a little bit better on that front for Seoul at the moment.
The crazy part is New York actually could have kept fighting there, but they realized, look, we have some progress to give. Go for the full reset. That could have been an even longer fight. Both teams evenly matched. Flora, though, opening with the Deadeye, nearly gets Marvel. Didn't have quite enough time to channel, but Marvel has to roll on out. New York looking for the way back in, and Flora just hunting the ball here. Lands the flashbang, finishes him off. A big pickoff from New York. Gonna take the fight to Seoul once more.
Yep. Oh, nice wall right at the end of that Deadeye to try to help out Fitz a little bit, but in the end, doesn't end up doing a whole lot. That said, Bianca does get D-Mech, the tanks out of the way. Now Marvel, Noah, it's going to be the McCree on the other side. Yakpung extremely low. Can they take him out? They can. And Seoul Dynasty in the end, winning this crucial fight. And with that ZP, I believe they just won this map. Seoul Dynasty can't get back in. Maywall denies it. And rather, NYXL can't get back in. And Seoul Dynasty finds themselves 1-0 in this series.
Very fun first map here, though, between both teams, where it was evenly matched. Both teams having very good engages and disengages. But what's interesting to me is, even though New York lost the map, the resurgence of Jonak, where you take a look at the earlier matches that New York has played. I don't think Jonak has played badly, but there's not a lot of moments you could go, oh yeah, Jonak carried that fight. Multiple moments here in control where Jonak found the right rhythm, got several picks, and looked like sort of the force that he's generally been on New York in the past. So that's incredibly encouraging if you're a New York fan.
I mean, I think it's going to make a close series. Even though that was a 2-0 map, those were two very close points. I got to shout out again, like Creative stepping up, making Jonak-esque plays of his own. I think, as rough as that last series was tonight, ZP, I think we've got a really good one started here. We're going to take a quick break, everyone, but do not go anywhere. Game number 2 between Seoul Dynasty and NYXL coming at you right after this.
Into the iris.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. And by Indeed, we help people get jobs. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League, and by IBM, the official cloud and AI partner of the Overwatch League.
Oh boy, Zachary Peterson, we have such a great series ready for us right now. I've decided that's what ZP means, by the way.
Yeah,
Seoul Dynasty, don't worry about it. Seoul Dynasty, one map up on NYXL. I don't know, I just kind of came up with that name. I don't know where ZP is from, but what do you think? Do you like your new name?
Oh, well, as far as that goes, Wolf has theories. Wolf calls me Zucchini Panini all the time. Avast Stream literally calls me everything. Like, does word end in P? Well, throw a Z behind it, and that's what it stands for. So at this point, there's no definition. It just kind of means whatever you want at the time. You know, hopefully something more complimentary than not, you know?
All right, there you go. Thank you, Zombo Plowshares. That's all I got. Guys, it's seriously going to be a great series, though. I mean, I could talk all day about the level of the flex support play that we just saw in that first map, but it was really everything. I mean, honestly, Seoul Dynasty winning that one by the slimmest of margins. Both teams seems to really have it together. So the question is, you know, what are we going to see in map number 2? We are going to see Seoul, as you can see on our screen, swap out their main tank. They're going Gesture back in for Marvel. But with the way that map went, I don't think you can really argue the choice of bringing Marvel in for Lijiang Tower. That was a solid performance from him.
Yeah, I mean, as we said for Seoul, sometimes it makes swaps that make sense, other times it makes swaps that don't make sense. I think that was one that made sense, and, you know, the analysis within the moment I think was on point, is that Marvel does have a good Rhine, more so than what Gesture is usually known for, and it paid off on Control Center, as scrappy and back and forth as it was. But you know, I think it's worth knowing, though, that was a good type of chaos, a good type of scrappy. It's like, hey, that's a good play, that's a better play. It was good play versus good play, not just, what are we looking at here? Why'd that happen? Why'd you do that? Like, there was none of that. It was just like, ooh, followed by, you know, even more signs of excitement as Jonak just takes down an entire team and creative response in kind. It was great.
I agree. As you can see, Seoul Dynasty with the 2-0 on our first map of the day. It's going to be Hanamura coming up next, our assault map. And we will see if New York can tie up the series. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one go the distance, ZB. It's going to be a good one as we see the New York Excelsior getting their defense rolling. It will be the Seoul Dynasty on the attack. And now that we're back to a point like Point A Hanamura, I'm glad we get to see this map again, because we get to see how a different team approaches that Point A attack. I would imagine we're going to see some pretty aggressive moves here. I don't imagine we're going to see the Road Dogg, but I don't know. Do you think there's a chance they'll stick with it? I'd be pretty shocked.
Yeah, I'd be shocked too. It's not late 2020 anymore. We're not watching the Washington Justice just make a miracle run and Gesture going, wait, that's good. I'll run a Roadhog too. A little bit beyond that point. But honestly, like I said, I'm happy for the palate cleanser. Give me a good showing of a Hanamura Point A offense. That's all I want. All I want.
Are you not entertained?
I got Scout.
Here's the Summer Scout. And we'll see if they decide to make any swaps. Profit on the Genji. Okay. Getting spicy already here. Genji's on Point A. Fairly
It's not the most con pick. Hasn't been entirely unprecedented this season. But if anyone can make it work, it's Profit. Fitz, meanwhile, going for the hack over the top and has just acquired the wrath of Bianca, who doesn't want to go there the entire time. I mean, Right now, Fitz actually getting checked pretty well, only 23% build thus far.
I mean, I like the attempt, right, to try to disable the May, make sure there was no walls your team tries to push through. It's a good idea. Paved the way for an easy dive. Meanwhile, Toyo in a little bit of trouble, gets stunned, gets taken out. Got wrapped up by Flora a little bit. Now Gesture walks in. He's going to get aggressive anyway. They do not care, apparently. But I think he's just going to build a little bit of ult charge and get out. Whoa, nice shot from Flora.
Wow, that was big. And I mean, Flora has been one of the key big points for New York this season. Incredible hit scan play. And a big reason why New York has looked good at times. So if all the rest of the team is playing at the same level, if Friday is a game picked up first, if Jonak is contributing, makes this New York team scarier, Noah.
Yeah, it really does. Flora, I think, adds a lot, like you said. And we saw why right there. No trouble at all taking out Prophet. And Prophet still, you know, kind of building that Dragon Blade. It's taken a little while. There we go. They're going to put the Nanomoose on Gesture. Are they going to be able to push in far with this, though?
Well, the window's out, so they really have to respect that. Although, as I said before it goes, I don't need a window. I'm just going to walk forward, look for a little bit of extra damage. And now New York is in a rough spot. They have to go to the point, but they have the Blizzard, so they have tools to sort of evict Seoul here. Prophet has a Dragon Blade, but doesn't get a chance to use it. Chased down with the May. Good containment, and you know, this is the problem that they're running into right now, though, is that New York's comp can just run at Seoul. Seoul has to work on picks or ults to win fights.
Yeah, I'm really starting to have my doubts about this Prophet Genji. Like, I mean, we've seen him play in the past, of course, but I don't really know what this is bringing for them that a Tracer wouldn't, right? I get the idea. You EMP into Dragon Blade, you know, I'm sure you can maybe reflect an Icicle into Ivy's face or something like that, but or a flashbang sometimes, but it just seems like it's not working out. They're going to need to have a big play with it right here to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, as you correctly identified, it's about the EMP Dragon Blade here. I tend to agree. I think there's more consistent plans, but you know, they've thrown all the eggs into this basket, and now they have to hope the basket doesn't just get broken. And step one, Fitz lands the early hack onto Bianca. The rest of Seoul going to be saying up in Gesture. Okay, he started the party a little bit early, went over here, dropped the Primal, but is also getting pummeled quite a bit. Forced out the early lamp. So now Prophet in a really good spot to move in the Dragon Blade. Yakpong already out of it. And ideally here, though, Seoul might try and save it.
I think Seoul has a good opportunity here. I mean, they've forced New York off the point, right? They've still got a lot of ultimates to use. And like you said, the more of those they can save, the better. Anamo just boops Ivy right off the map. Yep, they're going to be able to save a lot of this stuff. All right, so they've got EMP Dragon Blade for point B, which is actually huge. And this might have been the plan all along, to try to build this up and save it, or at least build two of them so you can take advantage of that big open space that is point B, where your opponent, if they want to engage you, they can't avoid that EMP as easily. I'm going to be really curious to see if this will work out.
This is a gigantic opportunity for Seoul to just put this one away. Here's the engage already. Prophet with the nano boost, with the blade completely shut down. A great response by New York. They back up, they deal with Prophet, and it's going to be back to the drawing board for Seoul. Well, I would think Prophet would swap, but who knows? Maybe they stay on the point B.
It was interesting because they didn't get a chance to use the EMP. They didn't get a chance to use the Graviton Surge from Toyo. So, you know, they've still got some good tools to push. But, you know, Beat on the other side, of course, that can be dealt with the EMP. But, you know, we'll see what they bring. Prophet, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised, but he seems really dedicated to the Genji here for this attack.
Yeah, I mean, it is surprising. I mean, it's kind of all in on the Nano Blade to bring you forward, but it does mean that they're looking forward to one good attack, and they kind of drop the EMP here. Opens up, hits forward, but Friday was off the side, drops a peak, but it didn't get everyone. It didn't get Ivy, it didn't get Yakpong, and Prophet just feasting on the remains.
There's a Graviton Surge. I mean, 4 people with Graviton Surge, but did they get enough out of CP?
Well, Floor's still around. That's the problem. Floor was able to pick off Prophet, and Floor takes out Tokyo, and yeah, you gotta get Floor in there. Floor will take down your entire team.
Wow. There is Flora in your water, and it's keeping NYXL happy and healthy.
Oh, boy. Yeah, you know what? I'll go with it.
Dude, it's 3:30 a.m. This is the best I got. I'm sorry. Flora sounds like fluoride to me at 3:30 a.m.
Yeah, yeah, the teeth game for New York Excel, strong Valley, I suppose.
They got a strong teeth game. That's why we love them.
I don't know. I'm just going with what you've given me here. This is the best I got.
I'll take it. All right. Well, they got a couple ultimates as well as their teeth game, right? They got the Blizzard. They've got the Earth Shatter. now Seoul suddenly struggling a little bit. 1:20 remaining on the clock. Jester's got to have a big play, I think. They got the Dragon Blade coming too, so fingers crossed if you're a Seoul fan.
Oh no!
Oh!
Deflection. Oh, but
There it is.
Prophet still dies though in all of it, so that was a very weird exchange. So it wasn't deflected, it was just a shuriken, and the Deadeye was actually well timed. Jester, meanwhile,
guess so.
a little bit of bouncy bounce over here, but you know, with
He
the back
deflected it with his
healing,
forehead, apparently.
yeah. Bap is able to withstand a lot of it, and it's not a good push for Seoul. They got to reset, and they only have less than a minute.
Yeah, rally use as well, so kind of everything going in that one. They've got the Dragon Blade, so they're going to have the Nano Blade for the next one. Or gets one, but yeah, they lost Animo. This fight is getting
Seoul
a little
just
bit too drawn out, I think, for Seoul.
Yeah, I mean, Seoul just needed to back out a little bit earlier there. That was a self-induced stagger towards the very end, because I don't think New York will chase that far out.
Right.
And you look at Seoul here, well, they're going to have EMP Dragon Blade, so put your faith in Prophet. They'll have the Nano also. So this is literally all about give Prophet everything, let Prophet win you the game. Will it pan out?
Yeah, I mean, what else do you do? You've got the EMP, you're going to have the Nano Blade. Make it work, right? You've even got the Graviton Surge. You've got all the tools. You've even got a tick on the point. Seoul, it's do or die time for them.
Oh, Prophet's dead! Prophet dies early!
Oh.
Gets picked up by Flora! He was the linchpin, though. Everything depended on Prophet, and he's gone.
I guess they've chosen death. They didn't get to the point either, and that is a hold for New York Excelsior. You can see about 50% progress on the point for Seoul Dynasty. They had the tools, just couldn't use them.
Yeah. Yep, that is very accurate. And I mean, I feel like we built that up adequate. We talked about, like, the stage is set.
Sure.
Prophet gonna deliver Seoul to the promised land. You know, nothing could be better. And then before it gets started, Flora just goes, no. No. Please get out.
I mean, we've been talking in the first map and second map as well about, like, how good Flora is looking on NYXL, and I think he's continuing to deliver. This guy's a rising star for sure on this squad, and it shows, right? You know, NYXL, they're a good team. You know, the roster may have changed, but you've still got a lot of good players, a lot of good synergy. They knew exactly what Seoul Dynasty had coming into that fight, and they just handled it beautifully. What can you say? Yeah.
So Fitz
taking a
is
quick
done
trip
his
back
duty.
to spawn. Yep. Already
got one to the high ground, and now gonna be heading back out.
Got the Zen to the high ground. You're in good shape.
Activating the barrier.
Oh.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So just maybe throw out the right click as the doors open. Profit.
I mean, why not? Throw in a little bit extra damage, but very winnable here for New York, though nothing is ever assured on 2CP. Still one of those variable map types.
Yeah. I mean, Seoul is a good defense. They can still hold on to A. We know how tough A is to take here. Oh, I like this. Teleport up to the high ground. Flora leads the way. Good way to get her onto the back. Make your opponents react to your new positioning really fast. And they get to the point of the hurry. This is beautiful, CP.
Yeah, I really like it. New York, they're also stronger up close than Seoul is. They just need to stick together, and they have a really big edge just from getting on point. The point pressure is something that Seoul cannot ignore, as Flora bouncing back and forth off the teleporter, looking to build up. Both teams look pretty healthy. The problem is Seoul must commit onto the point. Oh, that's a lot of damage. The Immortality Field keeping New York alive. The heals coming in, and the counter pressure there. Gesture taken out. So is Flora. 5 on 5. The point continuing to tick up for New York now as Fitz over the top, looking for a bit more. Seoul has to throw everything in here, though, and they're just about out of time.
I mean, yeah, they got to do something about this, but Jonak just backing away at the exact moment he needed to there. Prophet dropped, and it looks like New York should be able to finish off point A. Toyo did try to use the ult, didn't really get anything out of it. Yep, Seoul Dynasty, despite creative fighting a pick in the end, is going to be able to take point A here. They've got it.
Great play from Jonak. Great Immortality Field where, you know, basically the entirety of New York just got slammed from the Echo play. He was able to heal everyone back up, and it was enough to keep point presence in what could have been a team-wiping play for Prophet.
Yeah, and again, Flora playing beautifully from the very beginning, right? Symmetra, great plays with the teleporter. Then as soon as he drops, he swaps the Tracer right away, gets back to the fight, in time to keep it going. And then as they go into B, goes to the McCree for that more stable McCree-May combo.
All right, a little bit of a long rotation for New York. They get to the back of the point. Jonak, window in reserve. Likely gonna be looking to set before, but Flora has to stay alive. Takes down Creative, but it comes at a cost. Flora out of the fight, 5-on-5. Window is down from Jonak. So as you're looking at the tank battle, Jonak still looking to snipe away. New York, though, needs to get something else soon. You can't be down one player this long. Jonak ends up falling. Bianca's D-back. That's Soul's fight.
Yeah, I liked what New York was trying to do here. They did the long rotation on the side so that they could set up with the wall behind them and the amplification matrix in front of them. Make it very hard for Seoul to push into that as they look for a couple picks. It didn't end up working out, of course. Seoul ready for that. But, you know, it was a good attempt by NYXL. But now Seoul kind of holding the cards here. Remember, New York only needs to get this halfway capture. They only need 49.2% to win the map.
Yeah, and I mean, that's actually very important because usually teams on defense, you know, they'll use point as a bit of a resource, and it's not much of a resource Seoul can tap on here, so they have to be ultra respectful to New York when they threaten the point whatsoever. But for now, they gotta be respectful of the Earth Shatter. Yakpon waiting, going, who can I shatter here? I'm down with just one. Jonak finds Toyo off of the pressure. 6-on-5, New York. They're just gonna wrap this around, Doa.
Yep, that's massive. He's actually going to charge to get there. You know, if anyone popped out, he'd be able to pin them as well. They're in good shape now. There's the wall coming down again. It's going to be Jonak firing through with no creative nearly down. Four does find Fitz, though.
Floor has so much room here. This is perfect for New York. So as Floor the pressure, gonna rotate around, get off the Diva's bad side. The Deadeye, ready to go. You love this position. Doesn't care about the Diva. Problem is, probably shoulda. Didn't get as much as he was looking for there. Could have been very deadly, but the rest of New York still on the point. Seoul, though, starting to bring this back. Profit and Fitz off the respawn with 2. And this will be enough to throw New York off. They did not get a single tick.
Yeah, that was so close for New York. I'm actually shocked they didn't come away with that one with the tick. You saw Jonak going after Creative, and he nearly took him out, but Creative was able to get back onto the stairs and avoid that damage. And that was kind of the beginning of what turned it around, right? Because you had a little bit more healing. You could kind of maintain that sustain a little bit and wait for your respawns. And the respawns do come really fast on Hanamura B. So Seoul just kind of playing that to their advantage and causing New York to have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and I mean, again, can't overemphasize them not letting New York get a tick. So important, especially when they only have 49.2% to give. New York, again, taking the same long rotation. Fitz, safe on the other side. New York just kind of in the corner there going, rotate around. What do we do? Profit, though, good consistent pressure over the top. And I like this defensive set for Seoul right now. It's very smart.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're kind of just matching all of New York's rotations, right? Where they're like, all right, you're going to go around and try to take the high ground. We're going to rotate around the other side, try to maintain that equal level with you. So if anyone tries to jump down the point, we can get that death from above kind of angle going. All right, ult comes in for Toyo. Does manage to find Jonak with it. Good start for Seoul on the defense, and they're going to be just fine. Yeah, wow, Seoul's just matching New York so perfectly on these engages.
Yeah, I mean, what you're seeing, the DPS are kind of setting the tempo to a degree, right? Where Profit is just pelting New York wherever they go. New York isn't getting a free entry at any point. And Fitz, again, just gets that safe spot over the corner. I mean, you're running a pretty ground-based comp. Not a whole lot to challenge Fitz there. I mean, not even 4 really wants to fight the Ashe long range. So, again, I think compositionally, this is looking really nice for Seoul.
It is a beautiful dance of death that we are witness to right now here on Hanamura B. And New York going to try again. You know, they've been using this angle the entire time. I mean, it's really tough to push into the middle, so you can't blame them. Seoul seems to be just so ready. And it's really tough to come out of these chokes. Okay, they're going to turn around. They're going to try to go the opposite direction now.
I think they're putting some degree of pressure on Fitz, but again, Profit playing this echo here, though. He can just rotate around, get flanking pressure constantly, and so long as no one else at Seoul gets picked, it puts the zoning game here really against New York. They're going to try this angle when they haven't tried.
Yeah, the window again.
Yep.
Goes indeed, Profit. Ooh, that was very close. Flora nearly finds a pick there. Window about to go down. They got to go through. They're going to use the beat to do it.
Beats out. Deadeye coming in from Flora. Toyo out of the fight. One so far here from New York. They still need more. Soul biding their time. Duplicate still in process for Profit here. And Profit! Duplicate's over, but his killing is not free for Profit. It's insane.
Is it enough, though? New York, yeah, Creative comes in with a headshot to seal the deal, and New York gets the tick, but they don't get the point, and now just 15 seconds remaining. I don't know what New York does here, ZP. Can Seoul actually hold this? It would be monumental. They bring out the Bastion for profit, and they're going to set up. I love these last-minute changes. The Arisa, the Bastion, all the shields in the world. Toyo as well.
Enter
it's a pirate ship that's going nowhere. That's right. Enter the meat grinder as Seoul goes for it. Oh my gosh. ZB, well, they didn't have a chance. That was beautiful.
A really smart swap. Oh.
That was a fantastic swap. You know they don't have many ultimates, or really any ultimates coming into that one. You know the angle they have to go through. It's straight down the middle with no time left. You go to the Bastion, you go to the Arisa, you combine that with the Sigma Shield. Just a great swap over there for Seoul at the end. I'm so impressed. Seoul Dynasty came to play today. What can you say?
The way it was set up also was very, very comical. It's like, all right, for our final act, as New York comes in desperate, assemble Voltron. Bastion, Arisa Shield, Sigma Shield in position. It's just like, all right, battle station complete, and the Seoul Dynasty come out of what was a very tough situation, Noah.
Yep, they certainly do. And that's 2 maps now that Seoul Dynasty has been able to take very close performances and turn them into wins. That's been some pretty amazing poise, actually, for Seoul on, just kind of getting the map wins. What can you say? But New York sweating. They got to win this next map if they want to stay alive in the series. I didn't think we'd come in today with 2-3-0 ZP, so I hope we get a few more maps before our time is done on the broadcast. But we're going to take a quick break before we get to that next map, but don't go anywhere. Seoul about ready to try to close it up. We'll see if they can do that when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile.